I bought this really yummy cake from Whole Foods that I got it for content purposes, but I also didn't want to waste the cake. So I ate a piece of cake like 5 days last week. They were small pieces. And you might be thinking, well, Lisa, isn't that going to mess up your progress? Or some of you, if you were to eat cake every single day for like 5 days, that might send you into like a panic or you feel guilt or shame afterwards. And I've really released any sort of those like negative emotions when it comes to food.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Lisa. I'm a women's online fitness coach who's been in the industry for over a decade now, and I love helping women make their 30s the healthiest, happiest, and hottest decade of their life so far. If you're not new here, thank you so much for watching another video. It always means the world to me whenever you take the time out of your day to hang out with me. It is Monday, and we are going to hit an upper body day today. It is the Monday after my birthday weekend, and we're just trying to kind of get back. I don't even want to say on track because we never really fell off, but we were a little loosey-goosey this last week with our macro tracking, with the gym. I've had so much going on this last week. I'll tell you more about it when we get inside, but this is your reminder that this is a journey. Like, we have to get out of that all or nothing mindset where it has to be perfect. We can't skip gym workouts. We can't not be perfect with our macros because we're human beings and we deserve to live life and make the most out of it. And, if you just live in this constant state of fear that you are not going to stick to the routine or you're not going to stick to the shit you need to do, that's not a great way to live, in my opinion. So we'll talk about how to kind of like get back on track, what I'm doing this week, why I got a little bit off track once we get inside. So cheers, let's go get our workout in.
First thing on the menu today is Pec Flys. So we're going to start light to make sure we're warming everything up. Everything feels good. You never just want to jump into heavy weight because what if something feels off this day? I think one thing is people don't understand that you may not be able to lift the exact same amount of weight every single time you come into the gym. There's like a lot that can affect it. So what time of the month it is for you, your food intake the day before, your food intake the day of, extra stress, extra exhaustion, whatever. So don't if you did, 85 on Pec Flys last week, and this week you can only do 70 or 75, that's okay. It doesn't mean you've regressed. It just means maybe your body is tired or there's some other factor. So always start with 1 or 2 warm-up sets on pretty much every exercise because you just want to make sure everything feels okay before you just jump into the heavy shit. So with our Pec Flys, we got shoulders down and back, digging my shoulder blades into the pad, making sure I come out to where I feel a stretch in my armpit, bring it together, squeeze the center of my chest. You don't need to let it come all the way back. Literally stop when you feel the stretch and bring it in. Pec Flys is one for me where I typically do 2, even sometimes 3 warm-up sets, just slowly working up to working weight because of previous shoulder injuries. This is one where if you just jump the gun, like you can't hurt yourself. I mean, that's pretty much every exercise, but this one particularly, if I don't warm up properly, I will feel it in my shoulders for like a week. So we're going to warm up. So it is the Monday after my birthday, and I've enjoyed myself the last week. I bought this really yummy cake from Whole Foods that I got it for content purposes, but I also didn't want to waste the cake. So I ate a piece of cake like 5 days last week. They were small pieces, but it was tasty. And you might be thinking, well, Lisa, isn't that going to mess up your progress? Or some of you, if you were to eat cake every single day for like 5 days, that might send you into like a panic or you feel guilt or shame afterwards. And I've really released any sort of those like negative emotions when it comes to food because 1, I had a very small piece of cake every day. 2, I knew the cake wasn't going to ruin long-term progress. I always tell people like 1 salad isn't going to make you lose weight and 1 burger isn't going to make you gain a bunch of weight. So it's that same mentality. I was still very pretty well balanced the rest of the days. And I did focus on eating a little less carbs throughout the day, so that way it kind of offset the cake. But then I also look at it as like, your birthday comes once a year, and I don't eat cake very often. So it was kind of like, I'm going to enjoy this, because after this, who knows the next time I'm going to have cake. So it was really just a like live your life kind of week. And I love that I can fit that into my life when I used to deal with a lot of like negative emotions around stuff like that, or felt like I had messed up or had to start over or whatever it was. Which I think is where a lot of people go wrong on their fitness journey, is they think they messed up or whatever, but we really have to release that all or nothing mindset. I was telling, so I do 2-week free challenges every so often. I was telling the girls in the fitness challenge that I just did that, we were talking about all or nothing mindset. And one example that I gave was back in college, I failed my very first anatomy and phys exam. And luckily, the teacher graded it on a curve because I think over half the class failed. So I ended up getting like a C. But with the all or nothing mentality, I could have easily been like, oh, I failed my first exam. And I was a nursing student at the time. So anatomy and phys was like a very important class. So I could have easily had the mindset of like, oh, I failed. I might as well just drop out of college now, and let that one failure change my entire life. And that sounds super ridiculous, does it not? Like one failed exam and you drop out of college and change your whole career path and life. It sounds so dramatic, right? But yet we do that when it comes to our health and fitness constantly. We think one piece of cake or one skipped workout or one weekend that was off means we have to start over and we failed. And it's really, really dramatic. Because if you have that type of thinking, you're never going to be consistent, because life isn't perfect. And we're also humans and we deserve to enjoy life and cake and whatever. So we really have to work on letting go of that all or nothing mindset and focus on harmony and understanding that these are getting heavy. Understanding that birthday cake is okay, or skipping a workout here and there is okay. It's not going to destroy everything. Alrighty, so next we are doing assisted pull-ups, but we're going to use resistance bands instead of using the knee support. This is a great way to kind of like mix up your assisted pull-ups, because the machine is great, but there's certain aspects of it that help you that aren't going to actually help you be able to do pull-ups. So it's good to do like different variations. This one can be a little intimidating, and I get it. The goal is you have to get your knees in here, and that's going to be your support. So what you're going to notice is when you get closer to the top of your pull-up, you're going to have less support, which is way different than when you use the pad and like you have the weight from the machine to support you the entire way up. So it's a very different feeling, because a lot of people struggle when it comes to pull-ups from here to here. That's like where people struggle the most. So this helps a lot with that. The hardest part is this is not very cute. Okay. So we're going to put our knees in here like so. Oop, no, not. We're going to put our knees, we're going to grip up here and then put our knees. And that is an assisted pull-up using the band. So you can see that I only have support up to a certain point, and then it's up to me to pull myself up the rest of the way. So it's a very different type of challenge than this sort of assisted pull-up. I feel like women always tell me they have the goal to be able to do assisted pull-ups. So my favorite things in order to help you do that is band assisted pull-ups, inverted rows, um, negative pull-ups, which I can show you here in a second, or eccentric pull-ups basically, and then scapular pull-ups. I'll show you the eccentric pull-ups and the scapular pull-ups. after we do like another 2 sets of this. And I'm telling you, getting in here is not graceful. So if you have someone to help you, that's awesome. Because otherwise you look like a fool trying to get in here, to be honest with you. And I can only do like sets of 5 of those. Also, the thicker the band, the more support you're going to have. So I've layered 2 bands because the purple is not enough. And I don't have like the really thick green band. So start with like the heaviest band. If that's not enough support, you can always add a second band to it. And you'll just kind of like figure out what's going to work for you. Okay, let me show you a scapular pull-up. So your back is what pulls you up during a pull-up. It's not an arm exercise. Your arms are support, but it's mainly your back. So scapular pull-ups are going to strengthen your back to help you with the pull-ups. So you're gonna kind of hang here. Actually, we'll use the wide handles. You're gonna hang, you're gonna flex, relax. So I'm squeezing my shoulder blades together and it's replicating that movement I make during the pull-up. If you're not strong enough to do that, you can leave one foot and still practice that. So you got options. Every single exercise can be modified to meet someone where they're at. I know it can be intimidating being in a gym and seeing like all these people doing very advanced stuff. But remember, everyone has to start somewhere and you can modify everything. Okay, now we're gonna do the reverse pull-up or like the eccentric. You could do this in a Smith machine, which is like my favorite way to do this, especially if you're too scared because you have to jump off the ground for this. So doing it in a Smith machine can be helpful, but I'm also very short, so that won't work for everybody. So basically you're going to jump into a pull-up and then slowly let yourself down. Okay. So we're going to use these. You're going to jump up and then slowly let yourself down. Having control in any exercise is super important. I'm already getting sweaty. So that's an eccentric pull-up, which can help. Now we're going to be doing some wide grip seated rows. So I've got the curvy bar. We're going to overhand where it's very wide. Shoulders down and back. Pull it in. So let's again re-talk about this past week for me. So I had cake like 5 days. And then this weekend, we went and celebrated. So we went out to dinner Saturday night to the Hofbrauhaus, which is like a German restaurant here in Vegas that mimics the beer garden, the Hofbrauhaus in Munich. And if you don't know this, I'm German. I speak German. I go every year or so to visit family. And sometimes I just really miss like that side of my culture or like that side of my family. And so I just really kind of wanted to go embrace that a bit. So we got this like sample platter because I love German food and I kind of want a bit of everything. So it had all the sausages and it had potato salad and Klöße, which are like potato bread balls, and Spätzle, which are like little egg noodles. And it came with a pretzel and I enjoyed myself. Like I did not hold back. I did stop when like I felt full. There's like, you can celebrate different wins, right? So one win for me was like I really wanted to get dessert, but I also was so full that I knew if I got dessert, I was going to be miserable the rest of the night. So I was like, you know what? I can get dessert another time. It's no big deal. Because there's actually another German restaurant here called Cafe Berlin. Literally the best Black Forest cake I've ever had in my life. I hurt my mom's feelings a little bit when I told her that, but she was with me when we had that Black Forest cake. And Oh my God, it was so good. So I figure, you know what, maybe in a few weeks, I'll just go get a slice from there instead. And I didn't need the dessert. And I was really happy with my choice that I didn't get it. And then after that, we went to Fremont Street because Gym Class Heroes was performing. They're doing a free concert. So on Fremont, there's like several stages, and there'll be like random bands and stuff sometimes. And then sometimes there's actually like well-known people. So Gym Class Heroes was performing. And for me, it felt so full circle because I saw Gym Class Heroes live for the first time 17 years ago when I was 17 at my first Warp Tour back in Colorado, which is where I'm originally from. And I loved them. They were one of my favorite bands. I still remember I was like towards the front of the crowd to the side. So I wasn't in the mosh pit, but I was like to the side of it. And people got a bit crazy and someone stepped on my flip flop and broke it. I was wearing, which this was my stupidity. I was wearing, remember the cheap $5 Old Navy flip flops everyone had in every single color? I was wearing a pair of those and someone stepped on my flip flop and it broke. So I was like trying to drag my flip flop through Warp Tour. And then I think I found a table that like had tape or something and they like helped me out. But like that was my own stupidity. But anyways, the point is I saw them 17 years ago. And so being able to see them on my 34th birthday in my new home city of Vegas was just like really full circle because it made me realize like how much I've accomplished in the last 17 years. And also like when I was 17, obviously I had no idea what was going to happen in my life, but I think that 17-year-old me would be like really amazed at what my life looks like now. So it was cool. And I still remember at that Warp Tour, Travis McCoy, the lead singer, like walked past me and I almost like passed out. I was like in love with that man back then. So we went to dinner, went to Fremont, saw Gym Class. Then we went into the D, which is one of the hotels on Fremont, and did a little bit of gambling, a little bit of roulette, and also played some video poker. And I had one gin tonic. And it was a great night. I had so much fun. And then the next day, Sunday, we ended up going to get matcha. You guys don't know, I'm matcha obsessed. And Vegas has a bajillion matcha places. So I have like the bunch saved in my Google Maps and I like to like try to go down the list and try them. So tried a new one called Koji, I think is how you say it. My boyfriend will kill me if I pronounce that wrong, but it's coffee in Japanese. And I had a banana cream matcha, which was fantastic. Fantastic. Then we had lunch. We went to go get sushi. And then we went to this really cool bookstore called the Writer's Block, which is like a local bookstore. And that was my weekend. And then I onboarded a bunch of clients because I had a birthday coaching sale and got like 6 new clients over the weekend, which I'm so excited about. I just love being able to help women reach their goals, change their life, all of the above. But I tell you all of that because I didn't wake up today feeling guilt or shame or regretting my weekend or the past week at all. Like, what is the point of living if you feel like you cannot enjoy life? I think there is a fine line between restriction and boundaries and discipline. I think a lot of people think that saying no to something automatically means it's restriction, which isn't the case at all. I think it depends on the reason why you're saying no. If you're saying no because of fear, guilt, or shame, then that's something you need to work on. If you're saying no because you're simply like the dessert, for instance, I was like, you know what? I don't need it. I'm not going to feel good if I have it. Being able to say no for a positive reason of like, I know I don't need that. I don't want it. It's not going to help me get to where I want to be. It'll always be there. I can have it later. Is like a very powerful place to be because I think so many of us are controlled by food. Like our every thought is food. Our every decision is based off food. And don't get me wrong, I love to eat. I love to eat. I love sweets. I love it all. But once I got to a place of like, I can confidently say no to something without feeling restricted or like I'm missing out, that was like the game changer I needed. And it took time, it took practice, it took a lot of like mental work of being able to talk to myself and reason with myself and come from a place of logic versus emotion when it came to food. We need to add some tens on here real quick. And that's something I like to work on. Like, that's one of the key focuses I work on with my clients. Like I said, I just had a 2-week challenge. I call it the Finding Food Freedom Challenge. Because, like I said, once you find that place of you have control, you can say yes or no. It's your fitness journey is completely different. It's no longer this anxiety and this fear of like not being perfect or not eating the perfect thing, that you can release a lot of that, which is very freeing. For instance, like one of my clients, she has been working with me for 4 months now, almost 4 months. And when we met, she's basically been a chronic dieter her entire life. Like the last 16 years just have been diet after diet and gaining and losing the same weight over and over and over, to the point where like she's done every diet out there where she was scared of calories, scared of carbs, all of those things. And yeah, her goal is to lose weight, but her goal was also to never have to diet again, to get her life back, get her like enjoy life and enjoy food with her 3 kids and her husband, and not constantly worry because she's dieting or not constantly researching what the next diet is going to be. And over the last 4 months, she has lost 7 pounds, which to some might not be a lot of weight. But first of all, she looks like she's lost way more because her body's recomping. We started lifting weights and everything like that. But I also wanted it to be a slow process for her to kind of separate the idea that progress has to be weight related. And I've also increased her food intake significantly over the last 4 months. So she's eating more, her body's recomping, she's lost 7 pounds. But the most beautiful thing to me is I'll put up a comment that she made on her most recent check-in. This mentality shift is the most beautiful thing to me. And it is honestly why I love what I do. I want women to live life and not be in constant fear of food or gaining weight or what diet they need to do next, or if they can enjoy their time with their family. Like she's going on a Disney cruise with her family in a few weeks, and she was a little worried about it. And I was like, hey, here's the plan. We're going to do this leading up to it. And then once you're on the cruise, we're going to set up a game plan where you don't need to necessarily track all of your food, but you're going to be mindful and intentional the entire time. So you're not like coming back 10 pounds heavier, but also having anxiety your entire cruise because you're so worried about gaining weight. It's that freedom, I think, is just so priceless. I think one of the things that really helped with her mindset shift was a couple things. Number one was I asked her, I was like, does saying no to your kids every time they want something mean you're a bad mom? And she said no. And I said, okay, so let's apply that reasoning to ourselves. You can't say yes to everything all the time. You can't say yes to going out to eat every day. You can't say yes to going to get a coffee every day. It's not feasible to do that and also see like fitness, physical transformation. You can have both, but you can't have both all the time. That's one thing I like to tell them. So when I made that comparison, that was kind of like a light bulb moment for her of like, yeah, you're right. I can say no to my kids and not be a bad mom. I can say no to whatever and doesn't mean I'm restricting myself. I'm like, bingo, exactly. It's about picking and choosing and being intentional of some days the cake is worth it and some days it's not. And then being okay with whatever choice you make. That's the second thing. Being okay of saying, this is the decision that I made. This is the potential outcome of that decision. And then you move on. The less emotion you can involve in your health and fitness journey, and you just focus on doing the shit, a fact is a fact, Progress is based off of the decisions I make. The easier it is to make those healthy choices. The mental game of weight loss and fitness is the hardest aspect of it, because the mental side of it is going to affect your food choices. It's going to affect going to the gym. It's going to affect everything. So you have to work on the mental health side of things. So, what is my plan for this upcoming week to kind of get back on track? Is simply just do the things. Go to the gym 4 to 5 times this week. Track my macros every day. Get enough sleep. Manage my stress. Lots of water. And that's it. Like, there's nothing special I need to do. There's nothing like I need to do to offset what I did last week. It's just getting back to it. And that's another area that I think people really screw themselves on, is they think, okay, well, last week was crazy. So this week I have to be extra restrictive. I have to do extra cardio. And then that restriction then leads to potentially binging again next weekend, which then leads to restriction, which then leads to binging. And it's like this endless cycle that you never get out of. So you have to learn to simply get back to the basics and do the shit you know you need to do. That's really all it comes down to. That's it. Nothing fancy, nothing complicated, no cleanses, no detoxes. That's what you got your kidneys for. You don't need to do all that nonsense. Oh my God, I feel like I need to talk about this. So there's a guy that I know from back in South Carolina who is a realtor. And that doesn't even matter, but he's been posting on his Facebook. He's doing a fast. And like this fast he did for like, I want to say 7 days or something. It wasn't for religious purposes. It was to lose weight, which this isn't the first time he's done it either. So to me, the comments on it are like, oh my God, that's amazing, blah, blah, blah. And to me, that's not amazing, because he's done it before and he'll lose a bunch of weight and then he'll eat like shit for a few months, gain it back, and then do it all over again. So for me, losing the weight isn't the impressive part. It's when people manage to keep it off. To me, this just sounds like it's fucking up his system. And like, it's just a very toxic cycle that, I mean, all of us have been into a cycle similar to that, but like, this is to an extreme. We don't have to do crazy, bizarre things to lose weight. I decided we're going to do dumbbell flat bench, which I like never do, but for some reason today I'm feeling a little feisty. So we're going to start with 30s. And when you need to get the dumbbells up, use your knees, pop, like back. I was real shaky during that, but it really wasn't that hard. We're going to jump up. I was going to go to 40s, but there is no 40s, so we're going to 35. We haven't done any shoulders, so we're going to throw in just some light laterals. When you're doing laterals, you want your elbows to be soft and you're going up to shoulder height. I feel like dumbbell exercises, like incline chest, flat chest, things like that, a lot of women are scared to go up in weight. Just try it. You're probably a lot stronger than you think you are. I mean, be smart, but if you've been doing 15s for a while, jump up to 20. Try a set with 20. If you only get 5, cool, you got 5. It doesn't have to be like, let's say I programmed you 4 sets of 10 on something. Cool. What if you've been doing 15 for like 4 months? Try your last set at 20 and see how it goes and see how many you can get, or try your third set at 20 and see how many you can get, because the only way to get stronger is to progressively increase the weight that you're using. And if you're just stuck at 15 because you're scared, you're never going to progress. Like, you're going to hit a wall, and that's like the stop of everything. So don't be scared to go up in weight. If you fail, you fail. Ask someone to spot you. I know that can be really intimidating. Go find another girl in the gym. Ask her to spot you. Ask an employee. Ask a trainer. Like, no one's judging you, I promise. The amount of times I've had to ask for help because of my bum shoulder, I struggled to get anything above 35 up. So I've literally just asked people like, hey, can you help me pop this left dumbbell up? And then once it's up, I'm solid. Don't be scared. Gym people are actually really, really nice. And it's absolutely okay to shake when you're doing a set. It's actually a good thing. means you're challenging yourself. There's a lot of things that are normal in the gym that I think we get embarrassed about that are just like a part of it. Shaking is one of them. Butt sweat, crotch sweat, all of that. Failing at lifts is another one. It's normal to fail. The strongest people in the gym fail. It's totally okay. Do you think I've I've had a perfect lift every time or I've never failed? I've failed so many times. And guess what? You just keep trying and you get stronger, and then eventually you hit that lift and you feel amazing because you couldn't do it 4 weeks ago, but you can do it today. And that is what keeps you going when it comes to strength training, honestly. And that builds your confidence. If you end up doing something you couldn't do or didn't think you could do, how good do you feel about yourself? This is where the addiction side of working out comes in, is this challenge. You can constantly challenge yourself and then accomplish things that you never knew you could accomplish. Like when I would train clients in person and they would doubt themselves, and like I'd be like, go grab those 25s, let's do incline chest press. And they didn't think they could do it. And then they do it and they get like a set of 8. They're like, they left the gym an entirely different person than who they walked in as. So, try, challenge yourself, keep doing things. It's the only way you're going to get better, the only way you're going to get stronger. All right, we're going to do one more set of these. And then I want to do straight arm lat pull downs. We'll see if there's any tables open for us to do that. Last exercise of the day, we're going to do straight arm lat pull downs. So one of my favorites. One thing with the straight arm lat pull downs that people tend to do incorrectly is they'll end up using their triceps. So they'll squeeze their triceps as they come down. But this is a lat movement. So you want to be shoulders down and back and like flare your lats a little bit, which I know is remember the scapular pull-ups we did earlier? Think of that movement. So you're flared and then you're squeezing the lats as you come down. It takes practice. It takes time. One way to help with this is do a single arm. So grab a handle and just do one arm at a time. And you can literally feel your lat as you're doing it to make sure you're using your lat. So this is one of the things where the more you practice, the better you get, blah, 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 because I've said it in a video before. No one came out of their mom's hoo-ha knowing how to lift weights. You have to practice, learn, try new things, etc. So when women are like, I don't know what to do, or I'm a beginner, I'm gonna look stupid. 1, we've all looked stupid in the gym. 2, most people don't give a shit what you're doing. We're focused on ourselves and our own workout. But 3, the only way to learn is to do it and try. I remember one time at the gym I worked at in South Carolina, I was walking through the gym and it had cement floors, and there was an ab mat on the floor, and I ended up stepping on it and completely ate it, got air and everything. So my coworker at the time ended up pulling up the video footage, and we watched it 50 times. It was so freaking funny. I laughed. We laughed all day about it. I've all done stupid shit. I've hit my head on a Smith machine or a squat bar before. I've dropped weights. I've smashed my phone and had to immediately go to the store and get a new phone. So it's normal part of the process. We all do stupid shit. I've done exercises incorrectly. I've gone way too heavy on something and couldn't even move the leg press or a specific machine. I've jumped on a machine and didn't adjust the weight and it was super light and I end up slamming the whole thing. So we all do it. Don't take it so seriously. So we're going to cool down for about 5 minutes. You never just want to lift and walk out the door. Always let your heart rate come down. So the bike, treadmill, whatever, or some stretching, some foam rolling, anything like that is really beneficial. So I'm going to leave you guys here. Thanks so much for hanging out. Don't forget to subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys next week. Love you. Have a great week.